13? I got my count right this time, right? Because the last one was 12. This is 13. Okay, I can count. I just want to make sure. After the last debacle.
Look, I don't pay attention anymore. I'm going to be completely honest.
We've gotten
as
so
long
far
as it's
into
written
this.
correctly on the post, I am like, okay, I don't know what number this is.
By then, I'll have figured it out. But anyway, welcome back, ladies and gents, to Wait, What? Sports. Round of applause for Dr. Robinson. See what happens when you don't fight? You just let it happen. Just let it happen. My name is Gina.
Why are you dinging things already, Dr. Robinson?
I don't know.
Just get into,
He's trying to get into the swing of things.
That's because he's going to be more involved in this episode. But anyway, my name is Gina. And over to my right, I always feel like I'm saying it wrong, but that is my right. Over to my right is Amy. Hi, Amy.
Hi, Gina.
I meant to say, I love that shirt. I know I've said that before, but I just love that shirt. Hi, Dr. Robinson. How are you today?
Hello, ladies.
He sounded like Val Vetus. And if you guys don't know who that is, YouTube it. Hello, ladies.
Hello, ladies.
That got creepy and almost Jokerish. That was almost Mark Hamill's Joker, okay?
Val Vetus didn't sound that much of a creeper.
Just saying.
Oh, no.
Really?
Well, anyway. So.
He was sleazy, not creepy.
Right, there's a difference between a sleazy person and a creepy
the guy
person.
owns a dispensary now, so.
Does he? That fits his persona.
Yeah.
I can see that. All right, anyway, we're totally getting off topic today.
That's okay. That's, part of why you listen to us, I hope.
Right.
Is because we're just truly true, real, random people.
Yeah, I mean, to the utmost. Like, to the utmost of random.
I mean, honestly, having the notes that we have for our shows it feels weird sometimes because we really do want to, like, we have to make notes because otherwise we will be too random.
Right.
But
then you look down and be like, we did have notes. Totally forgot these were in front of us. So, all right. So today we're going to continue on. We told you guys at the very beginning, baseball is one of those sports where you feel like there's not a lot to talk about because you hit a bat with a ball.
But
that's baseball. But there's so much more.
If you know a hardcore fan like Dr. Robinson.
No comment.
There are more things under the baseball sun.
Yeah.
Than you could possibly shake a stick at.
So I'm going to ask this both of you guys. Do you think baseball is a more complicated sport than people give it credit for? More than any other sport, for real?
Baseball has a longer history than most of the other sports.
Which is what makes it more complicated, I feel.
So it definitely has a lot more nuances.
Okay.
And a lot of analytics as well.
Okay. Yeah.
And that again comes from its history and the way it was always seen, especially in this country. Mm-hmm. And as it spread around the world, things didn't get any easier.
Yeah.
And I think hockey might be the only other major sport. I shouldn't say the only other sport. The only other major sport that has a history that's quite as long.
Okay.
The difference also has to do with how baseball sees itself compared to other sports.
Meaning?
Baseball is the gentleman's sport.
Ah.
We have to remember that.
Yes.
It's just kind of like horse racing, thoroughbred racing is the queen's sport.
Yeah.
And that's why
Kentucky Derby.
I don't know why I wanted to put both of those words into one word. But that's why, like, the Kentucky Derby has all that show and pomp and circumstance around it, and the dresses and the hats and the whatever for, like, 30 seconds of racing.
Yeah. Because I've always wondered, like, why is that such a thing?
Which I watched the actual race this year, and I grew up on a horse college, an equestrian college, and I know horses, and so there were things about it that I didn't realize the way they actually set it up, the actual way that the horses go into the racing blocks and everything else. And then there were things that happened afterwards that I was like, apparently these grooms don't actually know horses, which is like the weirdest thing to me, because if you know horses and you know horse behavior, you would react a different way to some of the things that were going on.
Right.
And that's a whole different thing to get into later. But again, horse betting is a common man's thing.
Yes. Yes.
Right? Going to the races, gambling at Thistledown is more of a common man thing. The actual racing of the horses is more of a gentleman's thing.
Gotcha.
Baseball was seen as a gentleman's game, probably because of the way its history harkens back to cricket, which is the ultimate gentleman's sport.
Yes.
And we'll get into cricket at some point in time.
Which is why you see it on Bridgerton and all those other...
They didn't play cricket in Bridgerton. They played croquet.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. True.
Cricket...
Don't ding me on that. You've never even seen that show. Be quiet.
First off, don't ding her on that, because every female out there that's listening to us right now has completely tuned out because we said Bridgerton, and they're just like, Bridgerton.
John Page.
So...
You don't know. He's never seen it. You don't need to see it.
What?
So, anyway, go ahead.
All I'm going to say is ice cream scene. Anyways.
You can tell there's two girls who host this show.
And now Eli's looking up ice cream scene Bridgerton. And when he finds
I just want to watch his face when it happens. I can't wait.
When he finds it, there will be such a loud groan that we'll be able to hear it across the room.
I know we got to get back to the show, but I'm just kind of waiting. I'm
So
like sitting in my chair.
Anyways.
I told you.
So anyways. Oh, Eli.
I'm about to start crying.
Anybody else? Pass me that Lysol. I'll spray my eyeballs.
And yet we watched it on repeat.
Listen, I didn't get through that episode for like 20 minutes. You know how you can go back 15 seconds? 15 seconds. 15 seconds. 15.
So anyways.
Fine.
Cricket is depicted a lot in the British mystery shows that I watch.
Okay, yes.
So, unfortunately, I don't have BritBox. Otherwise, I would expose you
to
it that way, because it's one of those things where even though they are modern shows, you can watch a modern cricket game, and it looks almost exactly like the cricket that they played in Downton Abbey.
Wow.
Okay.
Hey, BritBox, feel free to give us a free subscription.
Look a lot alike and everything.
Wow.
Unless you're talking about, there's actually a version of cricket that came from Australia that is a fast-paced version.
Okay.
And I forget what it's called, but it was in the last episode of what is the name of that show? I'll remember it by the time we get to the end of this show.
You will. Or right when we go off air, whichever one.
Right. Midsummer Murders.
Okay.
They used this particular type of cricket. It's a faster paced cricket. That came from Australia. So, but it's Australian cricket. So, where they still play full on rugby all the time.
Interesting.
Which I like rugby. And actually, when we get to football and we talk about the history of football equipment and helmets and how that can change the game, we will actually talk about rugby.
It's very interesting to watch.
But anyways, so, baseball being the gentleman's game, it's always held itself above a lot of things.
Yeah.
And as part of that, it came up with a ton of statistics.
Just because. Why not?
Because we have to be able to measure in gentlemanly ways whether our team is better than yours in every possible way.
I feel like I need to talk in a British accent when you do that.
I've put on my very posh Vincent Price type accent where you just,
You enunciate every word.
Very much so.
And make it sound very professional.
So you didn't ding us through all the laughing at your reaction to Bridgerton.
But you dinged us now.
But you dinged us for talking about accents.
We're on topic. Sort of.
Anyways, so I came up with an idea yesterday to play a fun little thing with you and Eli.
Okay.
There are lots of stats in baseball. I literally have 2 pages typed out, and I don't even have the definitions for everything.
No, she does not. And my eyes are crossing looking at this.
And most of these are just what was off the back of my baseball card collection.
So there's more than this?
There's probably more than this if you were somebody who kept true scores.
Lord have mercy.
In fact, I'm certain we'll get to the end of everything, and Eli will be like, don't forget about. But
it's funny because it's true.
But what I've asked Eli to do is put on his very best radio announcer, color commentator voices and give us some sentences about some of the top statistics that they will use randomly throughout a broadcast.
Yes.
And to say it in the way that some of the announcers do, because sometimes you're like, what did they just say?
Hubba hubba. What?
Even for people who watch the game, back when I first started watching baseball, there were some times when I would hear something and go, "What?" And then I had to think about it because they take a lot of times the acronyms.
Okay.
And they make them into words. So kind of like my brother's initials are MAB.
Mab.
So he's Mab. Okay. I am ALB. So I'm Alb. Poor youngest brother of mine is ATB. He always said that. He's like, Mab, Alb. Okay. So there are things that they do that with in baseball. Okay. So Eli is going to be our color commentator with our first statistic.
Well, here comes Alex Rodriguez coming up to the plate. He had 50 ribbies last season on the...
Okay, we're gonna stop him there.
Yeah, because he's gonna go off on a tangent. I'm just totally gonna get lost.
So, did you catch what was the statistic? Ribbies.
And I think I know that because we talked about
correct.
it before the show.
Yes. So that one is correct. The ribby. Okay. Ribby is a really weird one.
Yeah, I've tried to understand what that is, and I don't.
Well, and here's the other thing about it. If you're watching games at home, you a lot of times catch the scoreboards in the background and whatever.
Yeah.
And there are teams who will use a graphic of a frog for ribbies. Because ribbit.
Makes sense. Okay.
A ribby is an RBI.
Okay. That means, I think I know, runs batted in.
Yes.
Correct. Dun, dun, dun. That's the only thing I'll get right this
So it's runs batted in. That a run is any time somebody makes it across home plate, makes it to home plate.
Oh, okay.
So if you're the batter and you swing, even if you don't make it to first, but 2 people make it home, you had 2 RBIs.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
Got it.
So at Progressive, almost called it Jake. At Progressive.
I heard that slight pause and was wondering what was going on.
I couldn't give Eli the joy of,
Dinging
yelling
you
at
for that
me.
one, yeah.
At Progressive, if you're ever watching on TV, you might hear the sound effect and go, what the heck is that? If you're in the stadium, it makes a little bit more sense. But our graphic, anytime a run makes it home, is Mario's coin. Boing! Okay? So that's our sound effect is ba-doing, ba-doing. So you hear it on TV, but you don't get to see the graphic. And you just hear every time somebody comes across home plate, ba-doing. So if there's a home run, ba-doing, 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 ba-doing.
Oh, because
like if there's a home run that's a grand slam.
Yeah.
So grand slam home run, ba-doing, 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 ba-doing. 4 runs, right?
Yeah.
But it's literally a graphic of Mario hitting one of those coin boxes.
I got a quick question for you.
One up. Huh.
Okay. So, say for instance, I'm a batter, right? I come up to the plate and I hit a home run. What term is that? Is that a 2-run or a 3-run, or if I'm the only?
It's a grand slam, right?
It's a solo home run.
Solo home. Yeah. If you're all by yourself.
Oh, you're all by yourself. Oh, I missed that piece.
So we'll get into some of that too.
Don't do that to me. One thing at a time.
One thing.
I went off the tangent.
You ding
you.
Yeah, I gotta ding myself. Sorry. There we go.
Okay, so the next term, please, Mr. Eli.
Well, we have Greg Maddox coming in. He has 10 W's to 5 L's.
Okay.
What were the term or terms?
W and L.
W and L.
Yes.
Can you guess what those are?
Win, loss?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay.
So that's your wins and losses.
So is that for the pitcher? Is that for the team?
That's for the pitcher.
Okay.
So that pitcher has come up to the mound, or is the starter for the day.
Okay.
And they'll talk about how many wins on record he has.
Okay.
And how many losses. We've talked before about, how a complete game has to go through so many innings.
Right.
In order
At
to
least
become
5.
At least 5.
Yes.
In order to become a complete game if there's a rain out. Or, in the case of Cleveland, a snow out. It's happened.
Ohio.
In fact, they fought to get the last inning in because they were in the 4th inning when it became blizzard conditions. But anyways, that was while Grover was still here.
Merry Christmas. Okay.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise.
So that win-loss record also is when you become the pitcher of record for a game.
Okay. I wondered.
So it's 4 innings to be a pitcher of record?
5.
Is it still 5? Is it
5
5
innings,
okay.
yeah.
Okay. I couldn't remember if it had to be 4 complete or, you're starting into the 5th inning. But to be the pitcher of record, you have to go the full 5 innings.
Okay, to the top of the 6.
You have to go through your side of pitching.
Okay, okay.
So if you get to that full pitcher of record point and you're winning the game, good for you. But if your team then tanks,
it counts against you.
Yes.
What? So if your closer can't get it done, you still get that L count against you? Oh, that sucks.
Yep. Because you are now the pitcher of record.
But
the reverse is also true. If you're down by 5 and your team rallies back, in the
then
9th
you get
inning,
the W.
Then you get the W.
We could go either way. It's almost like having to do half the work. You could it's like when you're in school. Either your team, that one person on your team kicks in the effort and you all get an A, or he bombs it and you might all possibly get an F.
Okay, Dr. Robinson.
Well, it's a great day at Fenway Park. we have...
Stop. I can't listen because you're doing the accent. I mean, keep doing it, but I wasn't ready.
Dr. Robinson did not prepare Gina for the fact that he was going to attempt to whip out a Boston accent.
I was like, what's happening right now? Is that the stat? Okay. All right, I'm prepared now. Go ahead. You can get yourself back in the mode.
Well, it's a great day at Fenway Park where we have Chris Sale coming up with his 100th start of the year.
Okay, so I'm assuming start is the stat, and he's the starting pitcher.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes, that one was pretty obvious. Once I got past the exit. But he might not necessarily be the pitcher of record depending on how the game goes.
Right.
Right. He could be knocked out at the third inning or fourth inning.
Or he could get injured in the second.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's just all that means is he's started the game.
He's the pitcher that starts the game.
Okay. Got it. All right. Simple. Ready.
Jose Ramirez comes up to bat with a OBP for 300 on the year.
It's a whole bunch of letters, so OBP.
Right, and honestly, this one actually does trip up a lot of the announcers, so they don't generally use the acronym.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They actually will say on-base percentage because it trips them up. If they're trying to get it fast...
OBP.
Yeah, you know me. Yeah! Y'all crazy is coming, running off on
You're
me, so.
welcome.
Join us on the dark side. We have cookies.
We have cookies.
No.
Lorna Doones. We have Lorna Doones. This is his favorite cookie.
Okay.
We have Lorna Doones.
Actually, I have strawberry shortcake at my house.
Ooh. Okay, stop. Food. Continue. So on-base percentage.
On-base percentage. So the on-base percentage is how frequently a player reaches base per appearance at bat.
So does that mean any base?
So a player on base means that you made it to the first base.
Okay.
Okay. Now, if you hit a double or a triple, you've gone past first.
Right.
So you've made it to first base.
So
Okay.
you have to make it first.
You have to make it first.
Got it.
This includes anytime they're walked,
Ooh.
anytime they hit the ball,
Mm-hmm.
or anytime they're hit by a pitch.
Because when you get hit by a pitch, you just get a walk, right?
Uh-huh.
I thought so. Okay.
It does not include anything where you got to base because of errors or because of a fielder's choice.
What is that?
I believe we talked about this before, but a fielder's choice is when the player has to decide, am I throwing to second base? Am I throwing to first base? Which
That
one am I
means the
more
play
likely
is
to
at
get
any
out?
base, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for the reminder because I blanked on that one.
It's the player's choice, the fielder's choice as to where they are going
to throw that
that ball to try to get somebody out.
Got it.
They're basically making a decision in a matter of seconds as far as who is closer to what base as a runner and what base has the closest fielder to it.
Right. So
Got
if I have a runner on third and it's only like one out, and like if I'm the batter and I hit the ball, and I mean I can go to first base, but I can also get out at home. But if I score and they get the out, then that's considered the runner scored on a fielder's choice.
Okay. I got it.
Right.
Cool. Thank you.
So
Yes.
I have a couple more for you over there, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead. Wait. Is there an accent with this one?
No.
Okay.
All right. Let me. Well, that's the game. Greg Kimbrell comes in and makes the save for the day. That's his 50th save.
Okay. So save.
Right. So do you know what a save is? Or can you tell me, is a save done by a batter or a pitcher?
Pitcher.
Yes.
I feel like it's a pitcher term.
Yes, it's a pitcher term.
As far as I can get.
That would be the closer.
Yeah, that's usually your closer. That's when you are ahead for the game.
Okay.
And they've brought in the closer, or God forbid, you don't have a closer on your team quite yet, and or your closer got injured or whatever.
Ooh.
They've gone to a relief pitcher.
Okay.
And that guy didn't lose the game for you. So
Got it.
he saved the game for the pitcher of record.
Oh. See, when you guys break it down, it's just like, why was this so complicated? Because nobody ever broke it down like that before. Okay. So you don't have to, are you finishing ahead always, or as long as you don't lose?
So what it means is that your team was already winning.
Okay.
And that person didn't lose the game for you.
Gotcha. Okay. That makes perfect sense. And I've definitely heard that.
3 more on here.
Yeah, I've definitely heard that term before.
All right. Tom Glavine comes in with 50 strikeouts on this season.
Strikeouts.
Yes.
Okay. Which means he just struck everybody out.
So a strikeout is when you get the batter out on strikes.
One batter.
Oh,
so how many times he's been able to completely do that to a batter? Oh, okay. Got it.
So if you've got, 10 strikeouts in the game, it means that you've had 10 batters come up and get out on strikes. They haven't gotten a hit. They haven't actually made contact with the ball and gotten a fly out.
Right.
They literally have swung and missed.
Oh, so it's not like even they hit the ball and it was caught. They just haven't hit the ball at all. Does that happen often? Do you get? Okay.
Yeah. In fact, strikeouts have a special notation in the scorecard of record. So they are denoted by a K. Okay. The letter K. So that's the other thing that they'll use. I wrote strikeouts on his thing, so he said strikeouts.
Right.
But you might hear an announcer say that a guy has 7 Ks on the night.
Yeah. That's what I should have did.
Yeah.
Ks.
So
either way, I was still like, okay. I mean,
so it's kind of like a KO in boxing is a knockout. A K is a strikeout.
Got it.
Okay. But pro tip, if you're somebody like Eli taking their own scorebook into the stands when you go, okay, if there is a strikeout where the batter does not swing on the last pitch, it is denoted in a special way in the scorebook.
Huh.
So you pitch a strike, but he doesn't swing at it. It's still a strike because he didn't swing.
Right.
Because it was in the strike zone.
Okay.
Right?
So that's on the umpire to call, right?
Right. So the umpire calls balls and strikes.
Got it.
If a batter swings on anything and misses, it's a strike.
Obvious, right. Okay?
If you pitch something in the strike zone and the batter doesn't swing at it, that is also a strike.
Oh.
So a strikeout where the batter does not swing on the last pitch is denoted in the scorebook in a special way. I'm fairly certain Eli knows this.
No. Go ahead.
You don't? It's a backwards K.
Wow.
Dun 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 dun. That you really didn't know that.
I've heard the backwards K term,
but you didn't know what it was for.
I didn't know what it was for.
Yeah, it's not something that you'll hear in a broadcast or anything else. It's literally something that's only on that scorecard.
Wow.
So when I'm at the ballpark, sometimes I see fans putting K's up, but some of the K's are backwards. So that's what. Thank you.
So like if you're at Fenway, Fenway still does actually. It still denotes how many strikeouts on your big green monster with the placards.
Yeah.
And they pull out the squares, the plain green squares, and they slide in the square for the letter K. And if it's a swing, if it's a no swing K, they put it in backwards.
That's interesting. Wow. The things No.
Wow.
I haven't done it in a while.
Again, I was saying pro tip there.
Yeah, that's cool. Tip. So if you do see it, and I'm glad you said that because that makes sense. If you're watching a game and you're like, why is that K backwards?
Right. I always thought about that.
Did they do that? Uh-oh, somebody can't spell. Dyslexia.
Okay, and I believe you have one more?
Two more.
Two more?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Irvin Santana pitches a no-hitter. It hasn't been done in Indians history since Lynn Barker in 1981.
So that means nobody's been able to get a hit. That's a perfect game, right?
Exactly.
Haha, I knew that one. That doesn't happen very often, though.
No.
No, there was one recently, though.
Really? Mm-hmm. Do you know who it was, Eli?
Mm-mm. I can't remember what team it was. It was only a couple weeks ago.
Wow.
I'm sitting here, they had red uniforms.
You can picture it in your head.
I can. I just can't remember who it was, so I shall look.
I think no-hitter is the most obvious one. Some of these have been, a couple of these have been kind of obvious. A couple of these have been kind of obvious. So obviously that's the pitcher.
It was Reed Detmers from the Los Angeles Angels.
And it was his first no-hitter, and he's a rookie this year?
Yes, he is a rookie.
Really?
Yeah, that's why it was like one of those things that
is that a record?
Has
Has any other rookie done that before?
Not since the old days.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably not until the old days.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
So it was just kind of one of those things. It was like, woo.
Right.
Okay. So
he played the whole game, or is that just because he was a pitcher of record?
No, he played the whole game.
Whole game. So you have to play. You as a pitcher have to pitch the whole game.
Oh, you can't just
have a no hitter.
You can't just be considered the pitcher of record. Oh, wow. Okay, that's a lot. He was in some ice after that game.
I mean, if you're that type of pitcher and you're in the zone and
they just let you go.
You just letting it fly, and they'll let you go.
Yeah.
If your manager sees something special, something special is gonna happen. Yeah, he gonna let you go.
So, the no hitter is the most rare thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it literally means nobody's pop flied, nobody's baves, and you've not had anybody make contact.
That's crazy.
With that ball.
That means you've struck out a whole batting lineup at that point, right?
3 times over, probably.
Wow. That had to be something to see.
Because you're looking at 3 batters per inning.
Right.
And there's 9 in a lineup.
Yeah.
So 3, 6, 9, 3 times over.
Wow. Yeah. That's nuts. And what do you do, like, as the manager of the team that's like, what's going on, guys? Why can't anybody make contact with this ball?
Like I said, it's the most rare thing to see. Mr. Robinson.
All right,
Dr.
next
Robinson.
one. This your last one?
Trevor Bauer has 5 shutout games.
Oh, okay. That's a little tricky because it's not a no-hitter. Shutout. I don't know. I know shutout's the term, but I don't know what that means.
So a shutout is, it's similar to a no-hitter.
Okay.
Except that it is a perfect game.
Oh.
So a perfect game just means that nobody got to base.
Okay.
So they may have hit and pop flied.
Oh, but they got out before they made it to home base.
So
first base.
If you pop fly, they catch it.
Got it. Okay.
Out. But yes, basically nobody's gotten to base.
Right.
Got it. Okay. So how rare is that?
Not as rare as a no-hitter.
Right.
But it's still fairly rare.
Okay.
Because it's very rare for somebody to go a whole game.
Mm-hmm.
It just is.
Especially in today's game because you got a lot of great hitters in today's game.
Well, and not only that, but you're looking at guys who are throwing with such velocity that, when it used to be that it would take 10 to 15 years before a guy would need Tommy John surgery unless they were, something happened.
Well, before then.
Right. Now you've got guys within their first 2 years having to get Tommy Johns.
How do they get so fast?
Weight room.
So just power behind their pitches at this point.
I mean, it's the same thing that you like when you watch the Michael Jordan documentary. Like, how they didn't really. He didn't go to the weight room until he was so many seasons in.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Oh, I need to beef up." And now you look at
LeBron,
and he doesn't ever leave the weight room. Is
right.
What it looks like
He lives in the weight room. It looks like.
So
it's weird how you think. Tangent. It's weird that getting stronger can actually hurt you. I guess that correlation doesn't always like.
Well, and it's just. It's a combination of the fact that they throw with such velocity that the muscles used to throw are generally they overdevelop those. And it goes back to, when I injured myself when I was doing my weight training and I was a bodybuilder. I went and saw the doctor with my shoulder injury and he was amazed because I was one of the few people he'd ever known, athlete, pro athlete, whatever.
Right.
Who had perfectly balanced my training so that my front muscles and my back muscles, my top muscles, my bottom muscles were all equally developed.
Yeah.
Because most of these guys are focusing on the muscles that will help them throw.
Got it.
But they're not doing anything for the muscles that you need in order to stop that
right.
motion.
Decelerate.
So you've got two sets of muscles there that you need to have working, and most people don't ever think about the stopping muscles.
Yeah, because your arm, at some point, that motion has to come to an end. And if those muscles aren't strong enough to stop that motion, you're going to tear right through them.
Right. And Tommy John's is an elbow surgery, so it's that snap of the elbow at the end of a pitch.
I can imagine that. You know how, like, sometimes you accidentally, like, snatch your arm out too far and you go, oh.
Or, you know, you've been, like, leaning on your elbow and it locks.
And you're like, oh, I'm stuck.
That's actually the reason why, until I was in my 30s and I learned the absolute correct way to do a push-up, I thought I couldn't do push-ups because as a kid and as a teenager in high school, I would try to do push-ups and my elbows would lock.
Oh.
So I was like, what is wrong with me?
Right.
Just found out that it's because, you know, nobody comes around really in your gym class to help you
do a push-up right.
Do a push-up correctly.
That's a whole other show.
That's, a whole different set of shows. But anyways, so we're done with our little game. And you did a very good job. Thank
you. I feel like I actually knew a little bit more. I feel like sometimes I don't give myself enough credit for how much I literally do know if I just take the time to stop and
You don't want the Boston accent?
You added some country in there. I don't know what happened there. You went down south and then came back up north.
He went to Boston via Louisiana?
Right.
Bayou?
So your plane got laid over in Louisiana. And then you went back up. Okay.
So the rest of my list of stats.
You actually forgot one. Honestly, I'm sorry.
Well, I've got.
There's 2 pages of notes.
Oh, sorry. I'm gonna turn my mic off.
Yeah. Mute it for now.
So I've got 2 pages of notes because I just was playing this little game with some of the things that, you know, I know you commonly hear on TV and go, huh?
Right.
But most of the list of what I have here came off the back of my baseball cards. Okay. Some of them are things that you will never truly hear unless you are talking to a baseball geek.
Which will never happen for me. Oh, yeah.
Excuse me, you're engaged to Dr. Robinson.
You're right. But you know what? He doesn't know it all. He didn't know the backwards K thing. So, you know, there might be a couple things where Evian's like,
And he can't even turn on his mic to yell back at you. I love that. So,
how do I mute you in real life?
So, I'm just going to kind of, you know, ask you which one, or I'm going to, how do you want to do this?
I already know.
Want me to just give you letters and play letter alphabet soup? And let you figure it out?
We can give a shot.
Okay.
See what happens.
So, this first set are for position players.
Okay.
Just a review, position players are your outfielders, infielders.
Got it.
Okay. They are also the guys that are going to be in your batting lineup. They are your batters.
Okay.
So it would also in the American League. Oh, I'm sorry, both leagues now. I keep forgetting that the National League has instated the designated hitter.
Right.
So it would also include your designated hitter.
Okay. Because that's the person
DH.
that. Got it. Okay.
Which is a position we didn't talk about in the position discussion. I totally forgot about the DH because he only was in one league until this year. And the National League is trying out designated hitters. Side note,
I want to ask
there are different rules. I saw your face. There are different rules in the different leagues. So what was your actual question?
What do you mean trying out?
So they have agreed to have designated hitters for this year.
Oh, just to see how it goes.
They were always, quote, original rules where the pitchers hit.
Yeah.
And American League accepted the designated hitter in like the 70s or the 60s. So,
okay. Yeah. All right.
So, anyways, all of these stats are for your position people.
Okay. I'm going to not cheat.
BA.
I cheated already. Batting average.
Well, because you were looking at the
sheet before the rest of them, that was the one I just happened to notice. Okay.
So the batting average, do you know what the batting average is?
I'm going to take a stab in the dark and say the number of times you go to bat.
So that's part of it.
Okay. And then it can't just be the number of times you go up there. How many times you actually get a hit when you're at bat?
So the number of times you make it to first base.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So the number of times you make it to first base, divided by at-bats.
So how many times you've actually gone up to bat and versus
The
number of times you've actually made it to first base.
Yeah, the number of times you actually made it to a base divided by the number of times you're at bat.
Okay. That makes sense.
So the reason I was trying to remember to bring my baseball cards with me today, and I'm like kicking myself because I completely forgot them on the couch underneath the cat.
Was it the cat did you forget them, or did the cat go, I'm just going to sit right here? She doesn't need these.
I mean, they're safe. They're in their little bag that they are held in. But, so it's normally described as something like a, 3.25 average.
Okay.
That's what you'll hear, somebody say. And actually, I think 3.25 is a really good batting average. 2 point something is, it's kind of like, your grade point average. Is
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So the higher the number, the better.
Makes perfect sense. That means, let's make it easy. You go up to bat 10 times, and out of those 10, you got 5 on bases. Okay. I got it. All right. I'm good. So you would be what, like a 0.5 at that point? Is that how that works?
You would, I don't remember.
Well, either way, I know what it means.
I don't remember how they express it, because I think it's actually done. The way they express it is done in a weird way.
Okay. But I just know it means the number of times you go up, how many times you've actually made it on base.
Yeah, honestly, the math behind it is one of those things where I'm like, okay, it should be super simple.
But it's not.
And then sometimes you look at it and you're like,
what?
These numbers don't add up.
So what happens when you try to outsmart and be like...
Well, and sometimes you're looking at the average for the year, and then sometimes they pull up the average for career. And then sometimes they, if somebody's been going back and forth between the majors or the minors, they will include sometimes the minor leagues, and sometimes they exclude the minor leagues from there. So it depends on like how many games they were down in the minors for, whatever. And it's just, everybody expresses them slightly differently.
Okay.
So SLG.
Girl. Give me a hint.
SLG? Does it sound like anything you might do in baseball? As in you're a slugger?
Oh, slug?
Slugger percentage?
Yeah, so that's your slugger percentage. Your slugging percentage.
Slugging percentage.
So that's the amount of bases you get in a bat divided by the number of bats. So, like, if you hit a lot of triples, your slugging average is way high.
Oh, so like you hit it and you can get 3 bases in that. Oh, okay. I'm glad that you know me so well that you can just look at my face and be like, she has no idea what the hell I'm talking about.
I've lost her.
The patient needs sleep. The patient needs CPR.
Clear.
I was like, paddles, please, paddles.
I feel like sometimes my face just kind of goes off into space.
Okay, this won't be easy.
Okay.
G.
Grounders? G.
And this one will be on every player's card.
Huh. I don't know.
The number of games played by the player.
Oh, come on, man. That should have been obvious. I feel slightly dumb now. You know what? I overthunk it. That's what happened. I just knew it couldn't be something simple. It had to be like...
I told you it was going to be easy.
I wasn't listening. My brain took over.
AB.
At bat?
Mm-hmm.
Yay! I was like, what else could it be?
That's the number of at-bats.
Okay, so the number of times you go up to bat. Cool.
R.
Runs?
So it's the total number of runs, again, making it safely to home plate.
Got it. Okay.
That a player has had.
I have to keep reminding myself of that because in my head I just think run to a base. So I have to keep reminding myself it's when you actually cross home plate.
Right. A run is a score.
Got it.
A score is when you hit home base.
I think that's a good thing to note, too, because you'll hear them say, he's got this many runs. And in my head, I'm thinking, so he ran that many bases? Okay. Don't do that. He's banging her head against the mic like, come on, Gina.
H.
Home runs. No, that would be HR probably. Hits. Yay!
So it's the number of times a player makes it to first without errors or sacrifice flies.
So a lot of times it sounds like the goal is really just to get on base, period. Mm-hmm. Okay. Not so much scoring, but did you just make it to first without getting out?
Right. So what it is, if you made it to base,
mm-hmm.
to first, without an error on the other team or without, the player on sacrificing himself.
Got it. So he gets out on purpose so that you can make it to first. Okay.
Because maybe you're the better runner. You've got the guy with the bum ankle.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, I don't want to be running out here.
Come on. Go ahead and tag me. You might as well just walk up and be like, you want that?
2B.
2B. Too bad? No. Okay. Give me a minute. 2B.
Okay. So this is what you would see on the baseball card.
Okay.
An announcer would say, well, he's got another double in the books.
It's a two-bagger.
Oh, so he made it to
second base.
Second base.
Right.
Okay.
He hit a double. He made it 2 bases.
Okay.
So the number of times you make, you hit a double is 2B.
I have to remember that the bases are called bags sometimes too, but base too.
But yeah, I honestly was like 2B, and then I was like, oh, a double.
Right? That's why you just say double. But this is statistics, so
yeah,
it's what the scorecard looks like.
These are the back.
Do you know what a ground rule double is?
No, I don't. Don't do that.
Into that because it's not on the statistics page.
Turn your mic off.
So, anyways, 3B.
Well, 3 bases. So it's a triple. That one's pretty obvious. Okay.
HR.
Home run. Because I already said it.
It's not human resources.
Although some people probably think it should be.
Okay. AB divided by HR.
Your at-bats divided by your home runs?
So that's your at-bat to home run ratio.
Okay.
So usually an announcer would just say, his average home run number or his home run average if they were looking for extra stats to pull out because this at-bat has taken so long.
Oh, so they use some of these are just like filler because there's nothing happening right now.
Yeah. So, every time a batter gets into the box and the pitcher's sitting there and shaking off the catcher, if the batter steps out of the box again, the whole thing restarts. And he's doing his whole thing. And because, a pitcher can take so long that a batter's like, nope, I'm out of here. And I got to reset my mind. And
oh, my gosh. So
it can go on forever.
Is that why some baseball games take forever? Because stuff like that happens throughout the game?
That and pitchers' meetings at the mound.
Yeah.
Yeah, all that.
Okay. Wow.
So, again, a lot of baseball is a game of psyching people out, too.
I see that.
So, we already did RBI. Mm-hmm. So, SB.
A single. Oh, I just knew that was right.
So, this one actually got me for a second. I'm sitting there, I'm looking at it, and then the card I was looking at was Omar Vizquel, and I flipped it over and was like, oh, it's Omar. Oh, that's why that number is so high.
SB.
Hold on. Also think Ken Griffey Jr.
Stolen bases.
Yes.
Yeah. He was like, don't get it. The moment you said that, I was like, stolen bases.
So SBs are the stolen bases.
Okay.
Most players will have a very low number in that category.
You have to be really fast to steal a base, don't you?
Yes. And very good at being sneaky.
Yeah.
I swear that Ken Griffey Jr. and Omar Vizquel had, invisibility cloaks half the time. Because it was like pitchers couldn't even see the fact that they were half.
Kenny Lofton? Well, Ken Griffey Jr. stole bases, too.
Yeah, but Omar did, too, and Kenny Lofton, yeah. They would get, halfway between second and third, and people wouldn't see them. I'm like,
how?
How do you not see this?
Are you watching the game like, y'all don't see that?
Well, and, it's one thing if, you have a pitcher whose back is turned to first base and you're halfway between first and second.
Right.
But it's completely different if you're off a second. Whatever.
Going to third.
Anyways, so now for the pitchers.
Okay.
Eli, how much time we have left? 10?
I think we can get through it. We're going pretty quick.
Yeah. ERA.
I know that's earned run average, but I know nothing else about that because I've always been curious about that. Somebody tried to explain it to me before, and I was like,
this is a whole nother one with lots of math tied to it.
Oh, God. What's the simple?
So
what's
it is the amount of runs allowed by a pitcher.
Okay.
The runs must be scored without an error.
Okay.
If the pitcher leaves the game with runners on base, any runs scored by the runners that are currently on base are counted against the pitcher that threw the pitches.
Got it. Okay. So if there's somebody on second and third.
And you get pulled from the game, and that guy on third scores in the next pitch,
it counts against you.
Okay.
Because that makes sense. Those are your batters, your runners.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, you sit there and you have to count the number of pitches in the game.
Right.
And then the amount of runs that were for that pitcher.
Okay. Got it. That was a lot more simple.
Yeah, well, it's just a whole lot of math.
Yeah. When you get into averages, it's the whole thing.
GS. Remember, you're a pitcher.
Right. I know G game something.
So remember that you have starts and saves.
Game started.
So game started.
Okay.
And its partner is CG. Not CGI, CG.
Close the games?
Completed.
Okay.
Completed
okay.
games. IP.
Ooh, what? What the hell is I in baseball?
And not an IP, not an IPA, which is, an alcoholic beverage, but an IP.
The fact that you thought my brain went there. IP. Something pitches. Incomplete pitches?
Innings pitched.
Oh, innings pitched. Okay, I know it was pitch something.
So, BB.
Something with ball.
So this one actually would have thrown me too. Just to let you know, because it's kind of like the K for strikeout.
Yeah.
BB is a special notation for walks.
Nope. I would have never guessed that in a million. Thank you for having mercy. Because there was no way I was going to figure that out.
I mean, I don't know
Why
if it
did you
actually
just use
means...
a W?
I wonder if it actually means beaned batter.
It's base on balls.
Base on balls, gotcha.
Base on balls.
See, in my head, I'm like, oh, it's beaned batters.
Which actually really does make sense. How many people have you clapped?
Well, especially since we just got done doing the Cheats and Scandals.
Exactly.
Show.
But there was a whole bunch of those BBs.
So anyways.
Okay.
So those are the basic stats. That's what you find on the back of the card. Because we're a little bit short on things, we can't get into some of those more complex ones as well.
That's enough.
That
This
Eli
is
was
plenty.
trying to bring up, and
He was trying to confuse me on.
He was trying to give you rules and stuff too.
Don't do that. Rules is a whole nother show.
Eli wants to give you everything all at once. Mm-mm. Remember, professor.
True.
Elementary school teacher.
Thank you. You laugh, but this is how I need this broken down. This is how most of the people listen to the show. We need the elementary version.
And not the professorial.
Exactly. I need the pop-up book. not the text from college. Okay.
So we want to thank you all again for listening to us, and we hope that you have learned something from all of our ramblings.
Yeah, and you know what? I feel like this one wasn't even as rambly. That's not a word. But I'm going to stick with it. This one wasn't as rambly as we've done. This one was very on point. Because I think this just kind of scratches the surface of the statistics they keep for baseball.
And the fact that, especially since Moneyball, since the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
Almost everything in baseball is based off of the statistics. Mm-hmm. Most of the things that teams decide to do as far as player personnel is based off of statistics.
Yeah.
I mean, baseball is probably the most statistic-heavy sport, and it's not just statistics for the fact of having statistics and a way to rank players against each other.
Right.
It's literally the way they decide who gets paid.
Exactly. Who are we going to go after in these other little minor leagues from? Because we got a Japanese player this year for the Guardians, right? So I'm sure that whole statistical thing from how he played in Japan versus how it would fit into the American system. Lord, is there a college degree for that? Like, I feel like there should be a whole separate college degree for that.
I mean, at that point, there's actually a statistics degree in mathematics.
Yeah.
So you're probably just bringing in your statisticians.
Probably. Man, this is crazy. Okay, so anyway, you guys know how to get a hold of us, but just in case you're new to the show or you just need a recap, you can reach us at wwsports22@gmail. You want to do the Instagram one?
Wait_what_sports.
It's got so much work. Facebook at Wait What Sports and Twitter at wwsports22. So, again, we want your suggestions. Let us know if there's something that we missed that's big for stats in baseball. Let us know other shows you want to hear about. It doesn't matter how obscure you think the sport is.
Well, and if you happen to be watching something and you have a moment where you go, wait, what?
Like I do for almost every time I watch sports.
Jot it down and send it to us, and we'll try to get to it.
Right. Because we really do want to do a listener mail episode, like a mailbag episode. So we want to hear from you guys about things. It doesn't even have to be a sport we cover. We can just talk about, some random sport that you were just like, I was watching lacrosse the other day, and they said blah, blah, blah. I mean, I don't know anything about lacrosse, but this particular piece of lacrosse was confusing. Let us know. And, of course, send us your movie suggestions for all things sports related. It doesn't have to be a serious sport movie. It could be something funny. I love all of Adam Sandler's. I keep using him as an example, but that's because all of his sports-related movies are hilarious.
And that's because it's most of the sports-related movies that you've watched.
This is very true. This is very true. But on that note, we're getting the wind down. So on behalf of myself, Amy, and Dr. Robinson, we thank you guys for listening to episode 13, lucky number 13. And we will see you guys on the next one.